Link down below in the description box so that you can read this article if you want, and to credit the uploader of this article. I don't even know where to begin. I normally don't get into this kind of stuff, but this is gaming related because I have a separate channel now that has to do with all things that are controversial, that are political, that are religious. Activision has removed Nickmercs' Call of Duty skin following, I'm throwing in the word supposed anti-alphabet comments. Okay? The FaZe Clan co-owner says he won't apologize for the comment related to the attack on Pride supporters. So, Nickmercs, in case you're wondering who he is, he's a kick-ass Call of Duty player. He's always on webcam. You normally can't actually really see him. You usually see like his nose and his eyes. It's kind of funny. But he's really good. Apart from that, I don't know much about him. Oh, there you go. His name is Nicholas. I never would have guessed that. Oh, boy. So what did he say? Puckett posted a tweet saying this happened 4 blocks from my Overwatch League apartment. Americans are in a sad place right now. Let people love who they love and live your own life. And I support that. You know? I do. Nick said, and I quote, they should live. They should leave little children alone. That's the real issue. It's a comment. It's a criticism. I know what he's saying. Everybody around the world knows what he meant by that. Because this is a school board right here. And now June is Pride Month and you've got protesters. Just like anything else. You can protest. You can voice your thoughts, your opinion, how you're feeling inside. But we live in a world where you can't do that. You make a simple comment. Leave the kids alone. Seems like a good statement to make. Because what he's saying, to elaborate further, is there are places around the world where they want to be able to share, you know, whatever other letters in the alphabet they're starting to hide. I remember when it was just LGBT. Now they're adding symbols into the mix because they're running out of letters. I got to be careful what I say here because I'm not Bill Burr. I'm not Dave Chappelle, right? I get canceled. I get annihilated permanently. But when you're Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr, you can't get canceled. These are light-hearted comments. Okay? But about a serious issue with what Nickmercs said. There are schools that want to teach the pride stuff. And some people feel it's not age appropriate. We're not saying that pride people need to be abducted by aliens and shipped to Mars. Okay? Nobody's talking about violence. I mean, some are, not Nick. Unless he's playing Call of Duty, of course. 'Cause, you know, he's holding a weapon there. Okay? What's the big deal? I mean, to me, that's the real issue. I love protesting because you get to, like I said, speak your mind. Some people feel very passionate about it to the point where they show up at these events and they protest. And that's how you get shit done. You know, put the weapons down, the pepper spray and all that kind of stuff and duke it out verbally, right? You can do that. I do it all the time. Like I said, whether it's politics, talking to pro-Trump supporters, Obama, Biden, whoever, Trudeau, Harper, whatever. And I make it very clear what side of the fence I'm on. But I like to kick the fence down, bring the people in from all over, and have a discussion. It's okay to criticize someone. It's absolutely okay to do that. Okay? This, to me, is not anti, we'll just say pride, because it's easier for me, like I said, to use that word than trying to recite the alphabet backwards, okay? That's not anti-pride. The guy that was in the States, which guy? Sadly, there's a lot of them, that got into a car, went to a pride event, okay? Right into a crowd of people. That's anti-pride, okay? Making a strong critical statement is not anti-anything. And if it is, then that doesn't say much about the people that are supporting that specific thing, which is being able to teach that to very young kids in schools. Just leave them alone. They got other things to worry about, especially, no offense, in your country, the US, with all the mass shootings and stuff like that. Okay? That's something to work on, to educate. This is not important at such an early age. Teaching tolerance, I think, is absolutely critical to a person's, whatever word I was looking for there. It's important for a kid, not a kid. There comes a point in a person's life where I think it's very important to learn tolerance. Doesn't mean you have to agree with it. That's another thing I want to make. Just because you don't necessarily support something doesn't mean you hate them. Doesn't mean you wish death upon them. People get so dramatic. Okay? 2023. You can't even make the slightest comment about the newest Little Mermaid. You cannot say that you're not enjoying it fully, or you think it's a little bit odd, because it's not exactly how you remember her to be. You can't do that because that's racist. You can't say it. You can't make any sentence in any language where you put two words together, the Jews. You can't add another word to that two-word sentence, or you're an anti-Semite. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I get that we live in a world where we should do better. The problem is when people feel like things are pushed upon you and it's thrown in your face and you can't even make a comment on it, that's the issue. That actually creates more of these violent protests. Right? And where people just get pissed off and they get fed up. Talk about a jab on free speech. This is anti-free speech. Like, really? Like, well, it brought me to the tweet, whatever. But I'm like, how is that such a bad statement to make? I mean, I've heard much worse things. Much, much, much worse things said about pride people. And to me, that's like, okay, yeah, that's not cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. But these sorts of things that Nick is son of a bitch. This sort of thing that Nick is experiencing, that other people have experiencing certain things, it's so hypersensitive. You know, like, what was it? Tucker Carlson on Fox News. I don't really follow him, but it was on Twitter. He said the word white men, don't fight like this or something like that. And just kaboom. Fired. Just. Because now we're insinuating he meant. And it could be a little bit tricky because there are some things that some people say, and I'm like, yeah, that's not cool. But to make such a overly dramatic spectacle of what was said is ridiculous. This is not, and every website I've gone to has used the word that Nickmercs' skin in Call of Duty has been removed following anti. It's not anti. You could say potentially, you just made a comment following backlash to a recent comment. Never mind this part. That's not in there. Not based on that sentence alone. The world needs to do better or we are going to devolve. I already feel like we have. From a technological standpoint, sure. We've got these funky little phones. Some of them got 3 or 4 cameras, night sensor vision and all that fucking shit. Okay? Could detect your blood pressure. We got watches that could tell you where you are, what your heart rate's at, what your mood is in. But we can't get along respectfully. And we can't seem to disagree respectfully either. It's really sad. And that, to me, is the real issue. I wanted to get that off my chest. You don't have to agree with me. It's not about agreeing. There's no right or wrong. It's how you feel. It's how you feel inside. And I feel that Activision is fucked up. It's not how you do it. This ain't it. No. Let me know down below what you think of this situation. I mean, this is controversial. That's anti-pride. Wow. As always, if you liked the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm. And if you didn't like the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. I'll bend it in half, twist it, and as always, break it off in your ass. I got to be careful now. People might not sense the sarcasm in my voice. And if you want to subscribe, naturally that would be great. But if not, whatever. I don't care. Thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.